Hi guys, my name is Megan, and today I've got some of my favorite books with fat main characters for you. Right, so today we're talking all about some of my favorite books that have plus size characters or fat characters in them, and like they are the main character and it's in romance. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. Alright, so first up I have Take a Hint, Dani Brown. This is the second book in the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert. This is following Dani Brown, who is a professor at a university in London, and she's very out and proud bisexual, and she has kind of had this flirty thing with one of the security guards at her lecture building, and one day they are doing a emergency services test for the building, and Dani gets stuck in an elevator, and Zafir, who is the security guard that she's kind of had a flirty thing with, rescues her and carries her out of the building, and a picture of them kind of goes viral on social media, and they figure, why not give this a little dating test dates to kind of keep the momentum going from this picture, because Zafir, who is our other main character, has a charity for at-risk youth of getting them into rugby and giving them somewhere to go after school. And the little boost of social media buzz is kind of helping drive donations. But these two also catch feelings hard, and just like they are so sweet. And the family, both of their families are just so here for their romance. And they are just rooting for these two, and like the way that they just catch feelings for each other is so magical and fun, and just like Dani is my favorite of the Brown sisters so far. Next up I have Shipwrecked. This is the third book in the Spoiler Alert series by Olivia Day. These can be read as standalones, though they are kind of interconnected, but you can definitely read them as standalones. While I love all of the books in the Spoiler Alert series, I'm putting this one in this recommendation video because this one has two plus size leads in it. This is following Maria and Peter, who have a one-night stand, and like after that they kind of accidentally find out that they are going to be working together on a TV show for the next 6 years, and it kind of turns into like a one-night stand to enemies to friends to lovers. The way that these two go from kind of having this really big animosity of like hurt feelings at the beginning of this book to really good friends and having mutual crushes but not wanting to do anything about it while they're actually working on the set of this TV show that they're on, that blossoms into a romance over the course of a media tour for the show that they're on. And just these two are so wonderful, and I love them to pieces. And I love that it's two fat characters that are falling in love and are kind of hot. This is a really well done like celebrity romance too. Actually, all of the books in this series are really well done celebrity romances. So next up I have If It Makes You Happy. So this was one of my first Claire Can books. This is following Winnie, who is just living her best fat girl life. In her favorite place for the summer, she has gone to Misty Haven, where her granny's diner is, and Winnie just loves this diner. She has always loved it. She kind of wants to take it over now that she is out of high school and going into college, and somehow she gets wrapped up into like the summer pageantry of this little tiny town that is super queer, and she ends up being the pageant queen, and like there's a queer platonic relationship between her and her best friend, and she also has a little bit of a romance with the boy that is the prince, I think, to her queen, king to her queen, I don't know. Anyway, they have this sweetest romance, and like I think this is one of very few books that I've actually annotated or like actually highlighted in a physical book, just because there are so many beautiful quotes about being fat, and it's a wonderful book, and it's one that I would highly recommend to anybody looking for just like a slice of summer romance, but also like a little bit of Gilmore Girls small town romance. This is the one to go for. Next up I have That Time I Got Drunk and Needed a Love Potion at a Werewolf. This is my favorite book in the Mead Mishap series. This is following Bree, who is a cheesemonger, and she and her best friend Cinnamon, who the first book is about, is also a plus size girly, and I love her to pieces as well. They are kind of celebrating that they freed all the demons, and now that there are like a whole gaggle of demons that are kind of integrating into their town, and just like they're having a girls' night and getting drunk, and somebody tries to give Bree a love potion, and it's like not having that and yeets it behind her, and it hits Felix, who is a out and loud proud bisexual man or werewolf, and he is very much, oh, you're my person. And Bree thinks it's just the influence of the love potion, so she doesn't want to get involved with him while he can't really consent because of the love potion. But Felix also is like, that's only a little part of this. And like, they have the sweetest romance. And like the fact that Bree just is like trying to not let her feelings go too far because she doesn't want to take away Felix's right to choose and, you know, consent and that kind of thing. But like Felix is very much a golden retriever boyfriend, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna be here whenever you're ready. And like they have cute little dates, and they're just the sweetest. And also Felix is very lactose intolerant, and Brie finds that out when she gives him cheese, and he just like runs out of her house, and she's just like, I'll be back later. It's so funny and sweet, and just one of my favorite plus size romances. And then the last one I'm gonna recommend for this is gonna be At First Bite. So this one is not for the faint of heart. This has a very serious like depiction of depression, and it's very well written. I did kind of tear up. But this is following Athena, who was engaged to Johnny, and Johnny's brother Matthew kind of broke them up, and Athena had moved into what is a spite house, which is a house built to spite the neighbors or the government or taxes, whoever. Anyway, she had bought this house as a gift to Johnny for their wedding because Johnny's house is attached to the spite house, and they were going to renovate their house when they both moved in together. But Athena is now living in this spite house next to her ex, and what she didn't know when she bought this house is that Matthew, the brother that broke them up, lives in the house on the other side of the alley. And it's very much a enemies to friends to lovers, and it's a very slow going, very from enemies to friends and then to lovers. And like I said, this one has a very, very well done depiction of depression, and I would just maybe check the trigger warnings about that before diving into this book, but it's so good. It's also really good if you're like looking for a character that is kind of job hunting, ADHD burnout, job burnout. This is the one to go for. Like, the plus size representation in this is so fantastic, and just the way that the two characters care for each other is really sweet, and it's one that I would highly recommend. Alright, so those are some of my favorite books that have fat or plus size characters in them. If you guys have any books that have a plus size character that you love, let me know down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget the like button. If you haven't already but would like to, go and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media for more bookish stuff, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys!